Wow, guys, Kamala Harris went on NBC for an interview, and the whole entire time she was irritated. I picked the most important segment out of this video because I couldn't stand listening to her voice the whole entire time. So you got to check this out.
The things that are so crucial to that phase of their child's development. So my plans and my policies are really directed at exactly your point, doing what we must do to bring down the cost of living, but also to help people not just get by, but get ahead. And I'm proud to report to you that economists from Nobel laureates to Goldman Sachs have reviewed my economic plan versus Donald Trump's, and in comparison, have found that my plans will strengthen America's economy. His plans will weaken America's economy.
Then why do you think that's not landing with voters? Because
but
in the
I think
numbers, it's the opposite. Former President Trump leads you on this issue.
Well, when I'm out, this is why I'm going out to Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan,
yeah.
excuse me, just got in.
Guys, she doesn't even know where she's going. She doesn't even know where she's going, guys, and she wants you to elect her. So the reason why these banks and these brokers companies are supporting her because they make money off interest, and they know the interest rates will be very, very high if she gets in office. So who's going to get more money? So of course they'll say her economic plan is better for them. That's man, I see right through it now. Let's keep going, guys.
Late this morning, actually, but going to 3 states yesterday, and I'm going to continue being on the road. I have to earn the vote, and it means sharing with folks my plan, but also offering them what objective analysts have shown to be the contrast between me and Donald Trump. My plans are focused on working people, the middle class, and what we must do to strengthen hardworking people to be able to do what they dream and aspire to be able to do. His plans are about giving tax cuts, massive tax cuts, to billionaires and big corporations. His so-called plan for the economy.
So her plan is for the working class people, right? She wants people to live a dream of if you work hard, you'll get what you want. You work hard, you get what you want. You'll be working hard until you're, man, until you're like 80 or something like that with her plan. Trump's for people that, want to go out there and do what they really want with life. If you want to start a business, go start a business. Yeah, that's tax cuts, right? But with under her plan and Social Security going so bad, man, you'll be working until you're 80. Trying to shout, oh, I worked hard. Kamala got elected. That's the only thing you're gonna have. Let's keep going, guys.
Economists have estimated will exacerbate inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So there's a huge difference between he and I.
Let me ask you about something that you said when you were running for president the last time around, back in 2019. At the time, you said that the elephant in the room was whether the country was ready for a woman and a woman of color to be president. So let me ask you, as you sit here today, do you think the country is ready now for a woman and a woman of color to be president?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am seeing that in terms of every walk of life of our country. I think part of what is important in this election is really not only turning the page, but closing the page and the chapter on an era that suggests that Americans are divided. What I know from personal experience, from lived experience, and from my travels even most recently, the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And what the American people want in their president is a president for all Americans, which is the type and kind of president I pledge to be. This is my life's work. As you know, I started as a prosecutor. I never asked a victim of crime, a witness to crime, are you a Republican or Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay?
While she asked him, while you're okay, while she put him in jail. Come on, guys. But the thing is, they want to ask you, is America ready for a person of color or a woman? I don't think that should be the argument. I think America's ready for the best person to be the president, which is not you. The race and the color doesn't matter. None. The race and the gender doesn't matter. None of that matters. It is matters if you could run this country, and she's not a good candidate to run this country. We've lived through the times of Donald Trump being president, and we love the times of Donald Trump being president. And then they try to sprinkle COVID in there to to tarnish his name. So there'll be something bad on his name. But if we go back and look, man, and we go and look at what Biden just did, it's an obvious answer, guys. It's an obvious candidate who we should be voting for. Let's keep going.
And that's what the American people want to know, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender or their age. They want to know that they have a president who sees them and understands their needs and focuses on their needs understanding we all deserve to have a president who is focused on solutions and not just fanning the flames of division and hate.
You've been reluctant to lean into, to talk about the historic nature of your candidacy on the campaign trail. Why is that?
Well, I'm clearly a woman. I don't need to point that out to anyone. The point that most people really care about is, can you do the job? And do you have a plan to actually focus on them?
I hear you on
and
that.
That is why I spend the majority of my time listening and then addressing the concerns, the challenges, the dreams, the ambitions, and the aspirations of the American people. They deserve to have a president who's focused on them, as opposed to a Donald Trump who's constantly focused on himself. I think that's part of why people are exhausted with Donald Trump and his approach, because it's all about himself and his personal grievances and not about the American people.
I'm sorry, guys, you gotta sit through this, but I had to give you guys this video, and I have to keep going. I'm sorry, but we're gonna keep going.
People, not about how are you going to help families, how are you going to help small businesses, how are you going to strengthen our economy. These are the things I'm focused on. I'm focused on investing in the new industries on which America should lead and be a global leader.
I ask because to implement the agenda that you want to implement, you have to win first. You have to win the White House. And right now there is a big gender gap in this race. Fewer men support you right now than they did President Biden. Some of your allies have suggested there's sexism at play. I wonder, do you think there is sexism at play here?
Let me just tell you something. You've come to my events, and you will see there are men and women at those events, whether it be small events or events with 10,000 people.
Show me an event that Kamala Harris had 10,000 people there where she didn't bring out a rapper, a singer, or any type of artist for that matter. Because now she's trying to get Beyonce involved in the mix. I'm trying to tell you.
So the experience that I am having is one in which it is clear that regardless of someone's gender, they want to know that their president has a plan to lower cost, that their president has a plan to secure America in the context of our position around the world. They want a president of the United States who honors our military, who understands the importance of America's leadership around international rules and norms. And that is regardless of gender.
So
and that is how I will lead.
Do you not see sexism as a factor in this race at all?
I don't think of it that way. My challenge is the challenge of making sure I can talk with and listen to as many voters as possible and earn their vote. And I will never assume that anyone in our country should elect a leader based on their gender or their race. Instead, that leader needs to earn the vote based on substance.
Didn't she just say, though, that America needs a woman of color? A woman of color. Literally, what she just said. She contradicts herself every interview, and when things goes wrong, she brings up Trump. I'm telling you guys, we see right through it, but the people around us, the people that are voting blue, we need to share videos like this, not just my videos, but the videos you come across that are calling out the BS. America is tired, and America needs to stand up, guys.
And what they will do to address challenges and to inspire people to know that their aspirations and their ambitions can and will be achieved through the opportunity to do that.
Some of those voters that I spoke with at some of the events yesterday, for example, talked about they were there to support you, but also your agenda when it comes to reproductive rights and abortion access. And you have cast this as a matter of literal life and death, as an urgent priority here. If you win, it is entirely possible that Congress will be controlled by Republicans. So what specific concessions would you be willing to make in order to get something done on abortion access as soon as possible?
Well, first of all, look at what has happened since the Dobbs decision came down, a decision that is a direct result of the fact that Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe. They did as he intended, and now in 20 states we have Trump abortion bans, which some make no exception for rape or incest, which criminalize health care providers in a state like Texas, prison for life for doctors and nurses if they provide reproductive care. And where we have seen this issue on the ballot, to your point about elections, from red states to blue states, when freedom is on the ballot, the American people vote for freedom, regardless of the party they are registered to vote with. We have seen that. And I know that there are members of the United States Congress who are well aware that their constituents.
So Kamala's reproductive care policy revolves around giving people that are in prison sex change surgeries to be transgender. That is where taxpayer dollars are going to be going. That's where our money's going to be going. So you tell me, the people that are in there for life, you tell me what you think should happen. You tell me who you think you should be voting for. These people are in there for life. This is just making my head hurt, guys. I can't stand Kamala Harris.
Are in favor of the very fundamental principle that a woman should be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
So is a question of pragmatism then, what concessions would be on the table? Religious exemptions, for example, is that something that you would consider?
I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body.
To Republicans like, for example, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, who would back something like this on a Democratic agenda if, in fact, Republicans control Congress, would you offer them an olive branch, or is that off the table? Is that not an option for you?
I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals because we can go on with a variety of scenarios. Let's just start with a fundamental fact. A basic freedom has been taken from the women of America. The freedom to make decisions about their own body. And that cannot be negotiable, which is that we need to put back in the protections of Roe v. Wade. And that is it.
But what if you can't do that? What if you can't get that passed and you want to save lives in Florida and in Texas and in Georgia? What do you do at that point?
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you right now. Because right now,
it's a question that's out there because it's
but
not a guarantee that Democrats will win control of Congress.
Well, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we do. On this issue, I think that what is clear to me is whether someone is. I was just with one of the.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We're done with this. If you wanna watch this on your own wheel, if you wanna put yourself through that torture, you can go ahead and do it. We're done with this video, so I'll tell you this. She say she wants to do what the world wants her to do, what Americans want to do. She says she will do it. Over 70% of her voters wants the borders to be closed. But she wants the borders open. She wants that money that we pay to be paying for those people to come over here and live for free, get housing allowances, and all types of stuff. Right? Now she wants to give people $25,000 for first-time home buyers to go out and buy a house. But that's not right. That's going to create inflation throughout the housing market. Man, I'm telling you guys, inflation throughout the world. Let me know what you think about this video, man. Let me know what you honestly think about this NBC video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.